Are your credit cards the key to financial freedom, or are they nothing more than a giant debt trap? Let's settle the debate today. Welcome to Money Talk with Skylar Fleming, where we break down financial complexity into everyday conversations. Let's get talking. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is a follow-up to this week's episode with Fati. We talked a lot about credit cards, and Fati shared a great story about how she found herself in credit card debt due to the expensive sport known as fencing, which I had no idea was expensive, but that episode's a great one to go and listen to. So be sure to head over to YouTube or on your favorite podcast player and find my most recent episode of Money Talk with Skylar Fleming. But in today's video, I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into credit cards. Why are they so great? Why do people love talking about credit cards and credit card hacking and all that stuff? But what if credit cards are just a giant trap? Let's take both sides of the equation and listen to both sides of the aisle on this one. But of course, I want to hear from you, so make sure you leave your 2 cents down in the comments below of what you think of a credit card. Do you like to use them? Do you hate them? Do you stay as far away from credit cards as possible? Leave a comment below, but let's get right into today's video. So if you haven't realized it yet, credit cards can be a really dangerous tool in your tool belt. They can be something that you might want to stay away from. I know my time working as a credit union supervisor, the thing that really led me to want to talk about money more and do this podcast, I would see people all the time in financial turmoil, credit card debt, all sorts of other types of debt. Debt can be really straining and really something that takes control of your entire life. It can be something that's extremely dangerous and something that you don't want to mess with. I know Fati shared a great story about how credit card promotions can really lead you down the trap of spending more than you need. So let's listen to what Fati had to share about credit card promotions, and then we'll talk about it in just a moment.
Up a credit card with them, and my first credit line was like 700, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I was like, I don't have anything to spend this on, so I was just like, I kept it, and I ended up going on a trip to Orlando. And I ended up meeting the people from American Express, and they were like, oh, we're giving credit cards out, like, and your entrance for the park will be free. Like, they had some promotion that like dragged me. And I was like, okay, like maybe my second credit card. And they gave me like a big credit line. They gave me like a 4,000 credit line. And I was like, wow, like what am I going to do with $4,000? But that was setting me up to be able to pay for the fencing, which at the end of the day turned out to become a really big debt.
So in Fati's story, she was talking about how the credit card company was going to give her free entrance to the park just for signing up for the credit card. Well, this is similar to today's promotions where you're getting $350 or $500 after you spend a certain amount. All those promotions are there to do is to entice you to get you to sign up. And I know if you listen to some of the older folks on podcasts, you'll hear them talk about free t-shirts, free pizzas, and things like that when you signed up for a credit card. Those used to be really common practice, and they still happen just in different forms. Credit card promotions can be one of the most dangerous things that lead to people getting into debt. Like in Fati's story, you heard her share about how she got free entrance to the park, but they gave her a $4,000 credit limit, which allowed her to finance all that she wanted to do with fencing. But that wound up with her in a lot of credit card debt. And that can happen to you too if you're not careful, because credit cards can be really dangerous. Maybe there's a really enticing 0% balance transfer promo where you can transfer all your balances over, but what you're really doing is creating one large balance with maybe a higher credit card interest rate that is just going to keep compounding in the wrong direction for you. So credit cards can be really dangerous. And I wanted to start off with that topic so that you know to maybe stay away from them. If you're someone who doesn't know how to control credit cards, they aren't to be messed with. One thing that I like to highlight is the idea of keeping credit cards simple. Have you ever thought, I don't really want a credit card hack. I just want to stay away from all the spreadsheets and all the little extra things you have to do in order to credit card hack? Well, then episode 62 of my podcast is the one for you. It's called, What If I Don't Want a Credit Card Hack? And I say that's okay. My wife and I honestly don't take perfect, optimal, the precise, clean strategy with our credit cards. We keep it simple and we keep it organized. We like to make sure we spend on the correct card to get the most bang for our buck in terms of rewards, but we keep it simple and we keep it organized. We only have a small handful of cards we use. And yes, we've opened up more cards than we currently use, which is fine. Maybe make sure you're using them, keep an eye out for other promotions, but keep it simple and keep it organized. That's going to help a whole lot towards making credit cards a little bit more on the path of helping you with your financial freedom and a little bit less on the debt trap side of things. If you're organized with your credit cards, you're going to know how to pay them off. You're going to know when they're due. You're going to know the extra little details about your credit cards that's going to help you get the rewards that you want. What are the other benefits that you can get with credit cards? Let's talk about that next. One of the main benefits that you'll hear touted a lot around credit cards is travel. Let's listen to what Fati from this week's episode had to say about travel with her credit cards. Awesome. How do you think credit cards can benefit people? You've mentioned a couple. What are some ways that you used them? You mentioned traveling. Is there any other ways you like to use credit cards?
I would say, I mean, the travel really helps, like, especially if you're like, I travel a lot. And like, for me,
Hmm.
having a credit card that benefits my travel, as in like getting free bags or like getting into the lounges, or maybe if you travel once, like you'll get double points, like those things like really help me because
Hmm.
of my lifestyle. I will also think like, if you like, my next goal is to get a car, right? So like, in my building off of that is like having, ensuring that I have good credit by like staying on top of
Hmm.
my debt.
Once again, thanks to Fati for coming on the episode and sharing her story of getting into credit card debt, getting out of it, and using credit cards responsibly. I know travel is something that you often hear shared when it comes to credit cards. It's the main big thing is getting travel miles, getting free trips, hotel stays, things like that. And it is something that you can take great advantage of. I know in my experience, I believe the credit card portals have a little bit of an extra discount where your points can do more. They kind of make it a little bit of a weird market where you can buy your travel awards using your points. But if you pay close attention to it, you can really make your money go pretty far. I know there's some people out there that really get into it and they can like double or triple their point value if they buy at the right time, at the right place, and that can be a lot of work. But credit card hacking with traveling can be a great way to make your points go a little further. And it can be super fun, especially if you're into travel. But what if you're not into traveling? What are other rewards that you can see from your credit card? One that you'll often hear touted is fraud protection, and that's because you're not spending your own money. Credit card companies are really willing to say, if it's fraud, we'll give you your money back, and then they figure it out. And that's super nice. I've seen that before on a handful of credit cards where there's a charge that you really don't know what it is. What are you going to do about it? Well, the first thing is it's a whole lot easier because it's not your money. Your money isn't pending to come out of your checking account because it's on a credit card. It's on that line of credit that you pay off once a month, and you keep it super simple. So when you see those charges show up, you're not as worried because you know you have a good amount of time to get it taken care of before you have to worry about that bill coming due. So that's something really to be considerate of. Another thing that I want to make sure to harp on is that a credit card can increase your credit score for free. And I say for free because you do not need to pay credit card interest or carry a credit card balance for it to build your score. And when I say carry a balance, I mean month over month. You should let a balance be on there when the statement generates, but that's what's called a statement balance. And you need to make sure to pay off that statement balance before the next statement comes or before your due date comes. And that's how you avoid interest on a credit card. There's a lot of videos out there, so be sure to go out and look up how to avoid credit card interest. And just know you can increase your credit score with a credit card without paying those crazy high credit card interest numbers. So keep that in mind. I recommend just paying it off once a month. Find that bill at the end of the month, find that balance at the end of the month, and then just pay it off right at the beginning of the month when you reset your budget. Keeps it super simple, keeps it super organized. But you can increase your credit score for free with a credit card, and that's something that can be really valuable for people trying to get their credit score up. I already kind of mentioned this, but it's really easy to pay off a credit card all at once. My regular strategy is my wife and I, we budget for the month. We put all of our spending on their credit cards for the month, and then we pay them off at the end or the beginning of the next month, just as we planned. It makes it very easy to stay on top of, makes it easy to feel like our account isn't being drained throughout the month, which can be a reason that credit cards are detrimental, is because you don't see your balance going down throughout the month. But credit cards are easy to pay off. You just send one check or one bill pay, one ACH transfer between bank accounts to your credit card company, and it's super easy to pay off. Groceries is another way that your credit card can benefit you. From NerdWallet, they say, check your credit cards to see if you can earn cash back or other rewards when grocery shopping. You need to track details like spending caps, annual fees, rotating categories, but there are credit cards that can pay 1 to 6% and could save you hundreds of dollars a year to cut off your food costs. So make sure you pay attention to it. And that's somewhere where my wife and I like to pay attention as well. We use the Walmart Capital One credit card to get 5% back on our online Walmart grocery shopping orders. It's super easy. We have several $100s just sitting there from regular orders that we were going to make anyways. Plus, I like online ordering because it saves you money by not going into the store, avoiding those impulse purchases and things like that. And then you can get 5% back on top of that. That's a double win for me. So make sure you keep it easy, keep it simple. Know that your credit card can benefit you in ways like travel, fraud protection, free credit score increases, groceries. Cash back is honestly the simplest way to keep it if you want to make sure to take care of your credit cards and keep it simple. But importantly, make sure you're being careful with them. And of course, thank you for watching today's video on Money Talk with Skylar Fleming. This video stems from episode 120 with Fati, all about credit cards and if they're a chainsaw for your personal finances. So where did you land after today's video? Is the credit card the ultimate key to your financial freedom, or is it nothing more than a debt trap? Let me know down in the comments. But also a great reminder right here that I'm looking for guests for Money Talk with Skylar Fleming. If you want to be on the podcast and talk about money, share your money views, or tell a money story that you have, let me know. I'd be happy to have you on. Or if you have a guest recommendation, shoot me an email. I'd be happy to reach out to them. But thank you for watching this video, and thank you for making sure to subscribe so that we can continue to grow and have more and more money talks.